Why is Jesus Christ the only way to God? Jesus said that there's only one way to the Father, and that's through him, the Son. And why do we believe this as Christians? We believe this because we believe in the Bible. So it's pretty simple. Christianity is the only way because this is the way that the Bible teaches us, and we believe in the Bible. Other religions have maybe one person telling you what the truth is supposed to be. Maybe it's Muhammad or Buddha, but these are all one person. Would you rather hear and believe something from one person telling you that this is the way that you should be living, or would you rather hear it for 40 people? The Bible has almost 40 different authors writing it, all coming to the same agreement of, from the Old Testament, when God was giving us a warning and God was showing us that he will provide a sacrifice for us. Also showing us that what life would be like without this sacrifice, as we see what happened in the days of Noah with the flood, as we also see what the people of the Old Testament had to do. Every time they would sin, they would have to make sacrifices, what kind of life this was, and how we could never do it on our own righteousness ourselves. There was nobody that was righteous in the way that Jesus was. We look at King David. King David even had a man killed so he could sleep with his wife.
Oh my!
But yet this is a man after God's own heart. Solomon, the wisest man to ever be on the planet, also succumbed to different women and different pagan practices and ended up dying from it, but still was somebody that God chose and used. So the whole point is that we learn that we can't do it. And this is what Christianity has unique from every other religion, is that we take the humble approach of only saying God can save us. We don't believe we can save ourselves. Other religions believe that they're good enough. They have a self-righteousness that God hates. He doesn't like anyone that is self-righteous and believes that they're good enough on their own power, because no one is. Romans 10:3. For not knowing about God's righteousness and seeking to establish their own, they did not subject themselves to the righteousness of God. Whenever we try to think of what God would like or would love, a lot of times we're wrong. Sometimes we could be right, but if we're not reading his word, we'll never know exactly what he wants. And then when we read in his word, we're guaranteed daily, if we're searching, to find things that we do on a daily basis, or ways that we feel about ourselves that disgust him. And these are reasons why we need him to save us. It's the reason why we need the sacrifice of Jesus. And we also need to not rely on our own righteousness, but rely on the righteousness of God if we ever want to be saved. Luke 18:9. And he also told this parable to some who trusted in themselves that they were righteous and viewed others with contempt. A lot of times when a lot of people are in these other religions, are believing in their self for their righteousness, they look at other people with contempt. And this would also happen to a false convert of Christianity. They will believe that they are somehow have become a better person, and they believe that they're Christian because they're better, and they believe that, oh, God chose me because of my actions, and this isn't why God chooses. God chooses sinners because we're all sinners, and he helps and makes us more righteous, but never are we righteous without him working inside of us. So the righteousness we have is only coming from Jesus. It's not our own. When we think that we have righteousness, this is when we become self-righteous. This is when we start looking down on others. It's when hate starts to grow in our heart for others. And this is what God hates. This is why God says that as we judge others, he will judge us. It's not telling us not to judge others, because we are to judge others. We are to judge what's right and what's wrong. We are to help each other out. We are to remove the speck from our brother's eye. But we're to first make sure that we don't have that same problem. So judging itself is good, is what we're supposed to do. But to look down on others and to feel like you're better than others, and to forget that everything good that you have comes from God is a type of judgment that will get you judged from God. That will make God pick you apart and pick apart all the small little things that you think are small to yourself. But compared to a holy and perfect God, you're nothing close to him. So once you start having a high and mighty attitude and looking down on others, like most religions, well, every other religion will have you do, because this is the only way you can be saved in these other religions is to know that you're better than other people. And this will make God look down at you and be like, oh, you think you're better than them? Well, do you know how much better I am than you? And he will break you down and make you understand and humble you. If you are able to come to God, you will be humble. And when you're next to his light, you'll see how dirty you really are. And that's just the truth, you know. Sometimes when we're in the house and you might have a white shirt on, it might look okay, but when you step out in the sunshine, you start seeing little specks and spots on it. You know, this is the same way our character is when it's brought next to the character of God. 1 John 1:8. If we say that we have no sin, we are deceiving ourselves, and the truth is not in us. Everybody is a sinner. Everybody sins in different ways. There's nobody who was born perfect. There's nobody who was born even more righteous. We just have different ways of sinning. We have different talents and different abilities. Some are more socially acceptable, but that does not mean it's more acceptable to God. It's not more acceptable for you to maybe not drink and smoke, but walk around and be prideful and think that you're better than other people. As a matter of fact, I would argue that even being prideful is more harmful and more undesirable to God than even drinking or smoking. So we'll never be perfect. Everybody has sinned. If you do not believe you ever sinned, the truth is not in you. The truth is God. God is truth. God is love. His love is everlasting, but his love is also stern. Real love is stern. Real love wants you to change. Real love doesn't want you to hurt. Sin brings pain and brings hurt. This is why we believe in the doctrine of Christianity, because it's the humble, wise approach to God that is letting him know that we are sinners and that we are not righteous in any way without him. Every other religion will have you thinking that you're righteous, and this will separate you from God. Something to think about.
Do take good care of yourself.